We've all experienced it. The moment when we say, "I'll take care of that tomorrow," or "I'll get started next week." Whether it's fixing a small problem at home, having an important conversation, starting a personal project, or committing to a healthier routine, we tend to delay. We justify it as being too busy or waiting for the right moment. But underneath those seemingly harmless delays lies something more destructive: procrastination, quietly draining our time, our energy, and our potential, one postponed action at a time. Contrary to what many believe, procrastination doesn't always look like laziness. It doesn't always mean sitting on the couch doing nothing. In fact, it often disguises itself as busyness: organizing your desk instead of writing the report, answering emails instead of starting the business plan, cleaning the kitchen instead of facing the hard talk you've been avoiding. The real danger is that procrastination often arrives cloaked in the illusion of productivity or convenience, convincing you that you're making progress when in fact you're merely deferring what truly matters. At first glance, shortcuts feel reasonable. Why spend 2 hours doing something thoroughly when you can find a hack and be done in 10 minutes? Why stir up emotional discomfort with a confrontation when silence maintains the peace? At least for now. Why build a solution from the ground up when you can patch the leak and move on? Because shortcuts almost always come with a hidden price tag. They don't charge you right away, but over time they erode your energy, siphon your focus, consume your patience, and eventually disrupt your peace of mind. When we procrastinate, we often think we're saving time or sparing ourselves pain, but we're simply deferring a problem into the future. And future, you pays the bill, often with interest. One of the clearest consequences of procrastination is the way it creates chaos in exchange for temporary comfort. Psychologists call this present bias, a cognitive distortion where we give more weight to immediate relief than to long-term well-being. We trick ourselves into thinking that handling something later will be easier, forgetting that problems rarely shrink with time, they usually expand. You delay addressing a leaky faucet and end up with water damage. You postpone a small system update at work and weeks later face a data crash. Every time we put off the hard thing today, we open ourselves to larger consequences tomorrow. Delaying even small tasks adds up. That email you need 10 minutes to write lingers in your mind for 2 weeks. That appointment you keep rescheduling adds a drop of stress every time you remember it. These micro delays pile up, not just in your to-do list, but in your brain's bandwidth. Carry enough of them, and you'll find yourself mentally exhausted not from work, but from the anticipation of unfinished things. That leads us to another hidden cost: mental fatigue. When something remains undone, it doesn't just vanish from your consciousness. According to the Zeigarnik Effect, a well-known psychological principle, our minds naturally fixate more on incomplete tasks than completed ones. This means every "I'll do it later" becomes a mental tab that stays open, slowly draining your focus like background apps on a phone. You may not feel it directly, but it's why you sometimes sit down to do one thing and feel inexplicably tired or restless. Too many mental tabs, not enough clarity. By closing those loops, even through small, consistent actions, you reclaim that cognitive space. Suddenly, you can think more clearly, be more present, and act with greater intention. Procrastination doesn't just waste time, it steals your ability to think freely. Beyond the stress and energy drain, procrastination also carries a profound opportunity cost. Every time we defer action, we're not just delaying the task, we're delaying everything it might unlock. The book you meant to write, the skills you meant to develop, the job application you never submitted, the side hustle you never started. What would your life look like today if you had begun 6 months earlier? A year ago? The cost here is not always visible, but it's real. You miss out on chances you didn't even know were waiting. Relationships slowly fade. Promotions pass by, dreams gather dust. But the worst part is what it does to your identity. Each delay sends a subtle message to your subconscious. This isn't a priority, or worse, I can't handle this right now. And over time, your mind begins to believe it. You stop dreaming big because you don't trust yourself to follow through. Another key aspect of procrastination is the tendency to settle for temporary solutions, quick fixes that feel smart in the moment but are costly over time. In American homes, this often shows up in ways we all recognize. A slow drain gets a bottle of Drano instead of a plumber. A rattling car engine gets turned up radio volume. A strained relationship gets polite silence instead of open dialogue. But those temporary patches fail. Always. When they do, they come back harder, louder, and more expensive to fix. This is just as true in business as it is at home. Companies avoid restructuring because it's uncomfortable, but the dysfunction festers. Leaders postpone tough conversations, but resentment builds. Teams keep outdated systems because upgrading is disruptive, but they hemorrhage efficiency month after month. The same is true in our health. A small symptom goes unchecked. A missed workout becomes a missed month. One donut turns into dietary collapse. Temporary fixes make us feel clever, but they're rarely wise. Underneath many of our delays lies emotional avoidance. It's not that the task is technically difficult, it's that it's emotionally uncomfortable. We fear confrontation, so we postpone the talk. We fear failure, so we don't begin the project. We fear not being good enough, so we put off the audition, the application, the leap. Yet the longer we avoid these discomforts, the larger they loom. What starts as a simple phone call becomes a terrifying ghost. What begins as a minor misunderstanding becomes a chasm of resentment. But the irony is, when you finally face these discomforts, they're often far smaller than you feared. In confronting what's hard, we expand our emotional tolerance. We grow our resilience. We train our nervous systems to handle challenge. This is how courage is built, not by feeling brave, but by doing the thing anyway, again and again. Another less visible cost of procrastination is what we might call time debt. Much like financial debt, it accumulates interest. The longer you delay, the larger the task looms. A 1-hour fix today becomes a 3-hour ordeal next month. A simple apology becomes a complex repair. A single overdue report becomes a pattern of missed expectations. When you delay action, the context shifts. Urgency grows, pressure mounts, the stakes rise, and suddenly, what once felt manageable now feels overwhelming. The cost of delay is never static, it multiplies. Perhaps the most damaging impact of procrastination is its erosion of self-trust. Each time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," and you don't, a small part of your inner confidence crumbles. It might seem minor, but it adds up. Soon, you don't trust your own promises. You hesitate to set goals. You shrink from commitments. You start believing you're unreliable. And that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But the reverse is also true. Each time you follow through, even when it's hard, even when it's small, you build credibility with yourself. You prove that your word matters. You show that you can act without waiting for perfect timing or peak motivation. This is the bedrock of confidence, the quiet trust that you'll do what you say you will. The good news is that procrastination isn't a fixed trait, it's a habit. And like all habits, it can be replaced. One of the most effective ways to begin is to start small and stay consistent. Don't wait for a wave of inspiration. Begin with the tiniest action possible. Write one sentence, do one push-up, make one call. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds discipline. Another helpful shift is to stop saying later and instead give the task a specific time. Later is vague and forgettable. Tuesday at 10 a.m. is a plan. When resistance shows up, and it will, acknowledge it. Ask yourself, what exactly am I avoiding here? Often, just naming the fear takes away its grip. Focus not on perfection, but completion. Do it good enough and revise later. And perhaps most importantly, reframe the cost. Don't just ask, how hard will this be right now? Ask, how much harder will it be if I wait another week? That's the question your future self wishes you'd ask more often. In the end, the real price of procrastination is not just undone tasks. It's an undone life. A version of yourself you never became because you kept waiting for the right time. The right time doesn't come. You create it. So next time you feel the urge to delay, pause. Ask yourself not just what you're putting off, but what you're truly giving up by waiting. Your energy, your freedom, your momentum, your integrity. Make the cost of inaction feel heavier than the weight of the task itself, because nothing is more expensive than the opportunity that never returns. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next video.